Hey, sweet souls, welcome back to Conscious Lifestyle Coaching. My name is Raileigh Easterling. So, when I come live, sometimes I call it the Phoenix Portal, and this is just an opportunity for you to come in and ask any questions that you guys have. And feel free to comment later whenever you watch this and ask the question then. And sometimes I'll answer you actually in a video. Same thing with emails. If you email me, sometimes I don't write back directly. But tune in every day and I speak to the collective spirit so we can stay connected in that way and continue to grow on this path. This week, we're talking about desire. So you may have seen my programs coming out talking about shifting from intention to commitment, and I've been speaking to the dreamers, people who have been receiving visions from the divine. And I'm here to help walk with you and to spark that path with you, not to give you all the answers or just to be a source of comfort, but I'm speaking to people who are really, truly ready to ignite a really divine path in their life and to see it come to fruition in a way that's going to be of great service to a lot of people. So if you're just gently listening in and feeling a connection, that's beautiful too. But if you're ready to actually activate and actualize, then please reach out to me and we'll go ahead and get started. Now, I wanted to share a poem inspired by the collective today from my book, Phoenix Medicines, and it's available on Amazon, and I really appreciate the purchases as it helps me create the oracle card deck that I would like to go with the book. But the poem's called The Gardener, and it's relating to the topic of our soul desires at this time. My problem is that I keep visualizing in my mind what I think I want for my life, and then it happens, and I am there. I manifest my visions quickly, and just as suddenly, the vision twists to somewhere else I need to be, something else I need to be doing. Half of me wants to settle, rest, find peace. But right when I think I am here, I want more. I'm scared. The sick thing is, I may never find what my soul is searching for in this lifetime. And half of me believes the truth may be that there is nothing to search for. It is all just desire, of which is life, to make something out of nothing. That is how time, life, survives and keeps continuing because we, as conscious creators, as physical manifestations, seeds of that life force, are time, refusing to die. This ache, this desire, will never leave until it does, such that again there is nothing. But perhaps in that surrender to nothingness, we find that everything is already here and now, and that is all that matters. Thoughts while plugging mustard plants into soil with bare hands. So I wrote that a few years ago as I was on another journey of apprenticing as a farmer. That was something that really called to me at the beginning stages of my spiritual journey. I was first receiving visions along my path to become a farmer. I wanted to raise a family in the mountains of North Carolina. I wanted to have my children here and be able to steward land. And so when we receive a vision, we start walking in it. What's the first action step that we can take to get closer to that reality that is within our control? So I started apprenticing, and along that path, I became very passionate about farming. And if you're listening, let me know who you are, and feel free to share how this message might be resonating with you, or if you watch later. So when we receive that vision, we get so passionate, and we think, oh, this is the way. This is the strategy that's going to take me to where I need to go, to where God wants me to be. And I was in and out of farming for many, many, many years. But at the same time, that's when I was writing books. And by the time Phoenix Medicines came out, I was ready to get this book in the hands of people. But that started to contradict the vision. How am I supposed to sell books, market books, and at the same time be managing these very large farms. It was impossible. And if you're a farmer, you're often living in environments that don't have service, you're exhausted, you're working outside. And so we often reach these crossroads and checkpoints along the manifestation journey when it doesn't seem the vision is possible, the dream is possible. How can you do it all? It's as if God is tricking us or dangling a carrot in front of us, and we wonder how are we supposed to do any of this? It seems too impossible. And then maybe we think we're being fools in this life to dream or desire any of it. You know, wanting the farm. How was I supposed to create the abundance that I needed to purchase or steward my own land one day off a farmer's salary? And if you're a farmer, you don't make much money. And so the key here on that path of the dreamer is to actually walk away from the choices and the realities that seem closest to the dream, to walk entirely away from it, to take the longer road around. It's, it's a spiral out. And our human hates that feeling of walking away from what we think in the moment is the only opportunity to receive our highest reality. And if you're here watching this, I would love to hear who you are and how this is resonating with you. And just thank you for being a part of the channel. So, though the greater vision for myself, and I think every one of us has this dream to own a home or own land one day, or to have so much community around you, obviously to have the abundance to serve everyone we love and care about. That's everyone's dream. And so even though I was a very good farmer and I really much enjoyed that path, if if my voice was to be heard, if I was to really tap into the soul purpose, I had to let go of the comfort, to walk away from the path that I thought was closer to the reality. And so that's when I started on the executive path as a businesswoman, and I was receiving mentorship and working in the outdoor industry as an executive in national diversity, equity, inclusion initiatives. And that is what cultivated who you have today, someone who's very passionate about business making, entrepreneurship in a way that serves activism, social justice, environmental justice. And so we've circled back where now I am back into writing and speaking and not much farming going on. But the whole picture is still right there, my own personal dream. So as you're listening, what is it for you in which you feel that you're close? You're close to the dream, the vision God the Divine has given you. But there's another part of your soul that's asking you to walk away and to believe and to have faith. That as you spiral out of the comfort zone, you will walk closer to the higher reality. But this path that you are being guided into now is not a path you've taken before. So how are you supposed to trust it? Why should you take it? Especially when time and our lives seem so fragile. And it's a vulnerable thing to sacrifice and invest so much of ourselves into a dream or a reality that we don't really know can happen. But as I mentioned in a video the other day, the divine God, our spiritual guidance, will not put a desire in our soul that cannot be manifested. That is a reality that truly does belong to us. It's just a path that we have to be patient with and slowly sow into, slowly invest in, and enjoy every stage of the journey. And if you're here, again, I would love to hear who you are and how this message resonates with you. A lot of us reach this point on the journey when we stop desiring or wanting because the dream takes too long to come to us. And that is how we're being conditioned because of the dopamine fix of scrolling on YouTube or TikTok, 30-second reels, and our brain gets so fixed on the instant gratification. And it is actually that addiction, same with drugs or other forms of entertainment, pornography, for example, that's giving you a false reality that we get fixed to so that we never actually go on the journey of manifesting a true divine partner or becoming the conscious creator that we really are. We get consumed by what other people are projecting at us, and we forget that we are creators. And what is happening with that programming, and hello, Stephen, nice to have you here. We become numb and passionless. We get too focused on what can happen tomorrow. And we stop thinking about what can happen years from now. So our tolerance for patience, for dreaming, for manifestation is under attack right now. And if you're here, I'd love to hear from you in the chat. And if you have any questions, the Phoenix Portal is going to be the opportunity to talk about it. But until I hear from you all, I'm just going to speak from the soul. And I wanted to speak on if you're someone who, doesn't have true clarity on what it is you desire. Maybe you feel passionless. And it's easy to feel that way, especially if we expose our minds to so much turmoil and chaos, especially on our phones, or if we're surrounded by people who are not energized by life, not motivated to really serve anything outside of the self. We fall into that same trap. And that's when life starts using us and attacking us. And we wonder why we're unhappy or why we feel numb, why nothing excites us anymore. So if you're resonating with that, and I often move through that, it's easy to, because I'm so sensitive and many of you are very much empaths, that our energy becomes drained and the life sucked out, especially when you're such a high vibrating soul in a space where there's not many people like you around. We become just as numb as everyone else. But if you're listening and you've been a part of the journey with me, then there's a spark in you that wants to continue to be breathed into. And that's ultimately going to be up to you as you receive these messages, for you to affirm for yourself and to make a commitment every day to continue on that journey. Even when God, the divine source, is asking you to walk away from the comfort, from the false realities that seem close enough, but it's not quite it. And I'm here to tell you that you deserve the real thing. That God, the divine, wants you to have the highest reality. Stephen says, is it possible to just live passionately without huge ambitions? I think you're tapping into a very key vibration here of wanting to serve, embodying so much love without expectation. So that's a very stable energy. You're someone who can live in joy and gratitude, but not have so much expectation on the self that you end up disappointing yourself or other people, and you end up getting drained. So I think that's a very balanced way to live. Not too ambitious, but having passion. Yeah, I appreciate that statement. But as I shared in the beginning of the live, is sometimes our ambitions are not aligned with with the highest reality that our soul has chosen in this lifetime, that the divine actually wants for us. To be ambitious is not a divine energy. Joy is. And if we're tapped into joy, then we're on the right path. Genuine joy. Not distractions where we're numb. We're so numb that we think we're happy. But joy is an energy in which you can't help but to share. Like, you feel guided to share something, to build something, to create something, not to make money, not to become someone or get an identity, but because you can't help but pour out of yourself. So, what if we, and this is my last message today, what if we desire things we can't have? And I think that happens to many of us who are dreamers. And if we're not truly tapped into faith, or we don't have true clarity yet, and sometimes purposely our soul or God will not give us clarity on our desires for a period of time because we're still discovering what our soul is and who we really are. So, if we desire something and it's just not happening, we have to question, why we want what we want. And for many of us, maybe it's trying to manifest a specific relationship, but we get too caught up on who the person is or what that job is. We want that specific person or that specific job, and we pursue and pursue and chase, and we push it away. And then we come to the ultimate conclusions that we are unlovable or unworthy of a high paying job. Why is it so hard to shift our focus away? And that's because it's easy to be tempted by lack mentality. We think that love is so scarce or money is so scarce, and that's why we try to force things in life. And when we are trying to force, that's when we have to let go of wanting at all. Letting go of our ambitions, letting go of our desires. But as I mentioned the other day, desire, when it comes from the soul, if it's truly in alignment with higher love, it will never truly go away. It will remain there. And that's the genuine ambition, which I want to reframe to life purpose instead of ambition. Ambition to me is the energy of forcing something, racing towards something, laboring intensely towards something. But that's not always how the manifestation occurs. Sometimes it's a surrender and it's a flow where we receive it, where God, the miracles, the blessings are coming towards us. And that's something that many of us, especially who are living in capitalistic societies, industrialized societies, forget. That's not all on our shoulders. You don't have to control everything or dominate everything and just allow things to be. So if we feel that we are desiring things and we cannot have it, you do not turn to witchcrafts and black magic. No. That desire, if you're not receiving it, is simply teaching you 5 things I want to share with you. And if you're here, please let me know who you are in the chat. Don't be shy. The desire is teaching us how to fulfill ourselves. So, for example, as I was dating and I would become so attracted to someone. And now I think for sure this is the person God wants for me, and it would not happen. But what each of these people that I was so attracted to, maybe dated for a little bit, um, while they did not end up being my husband, something about their character, their soul resonated with me that I didn't yet quite believe I could fulfill within myself. So there was something about them that was pushing me to grow. And that's what I was attracted to. Not necessarily that God wanted me to be with that person or to have that person in my life, but to become more of the medicine that they were already tapped into, that they were sharing with me. How could I create that within myself to share with other people? And that's why we become so attracted to certain situations, people, and opportunities. And then we get so disappointed when they don't work out. But again, it was pushing you to fulfill something. If you didn't get a specific job, what skill did that job have that you still honestly have to grow into? And that's okay. Self-fulfillment is a beautiful, sacred journey. And so if we feel that we're not whole yet, without someone in our life or without a specific job or a specific amount of money, there's still so much more that we can be fulfilled by, that is much more simple, that is accessible here and right now. And that is what God is trying to show us when we feel that we cannot receive our desires. If you're here, let me know who you are and where you're listening in from. The second teaching about desire is it's teaching us, it's showing us hope and faith in our higher potential. Not the ways in which we have to fulfill ourselves right now, but who is possible that we can be. And maybe it's not right now. Timing does not exist in the higher realm, in the spiritual realm, in the dimension of heaven. Time does not exist. So sometimes there'll be a desire in our heart that is not meant to unfold really until decades later. We receive it, we sit with it, we crave it, and then it becomes who we are. Without us even knowing, sometimes we are growing into someone because of the desires of our heart. And before I turned this live on, I was in deep meditation and was taking a nap. Hey, Maxwell, and hello from Minnesota, Stephen. I had this vision. I was in a different country. I was relocating. It was by choice, but for some reason, my partner couldn't make it with me. I had to go on this journey alone, and it was unclear when I would ever see this love, this partner of mine again. And it wasn't me in the dream, the vision I had. And I understand that's a heartbreak and a fear many people are conscious of right now, or actually experiencing, of that degree of separation. And it is a grief. It's a heartbreaking experience to lose something truly in the physical form, whether that's loss or death, or the uncertainty of when we're going to see something again or see someone again. How do we live with that kind of desire? Especially when you know you will never receive that person in physical form again in your lifetime. And that's a heavy grief that my spirit wanted me to speak on today. But showing you your highest potential, when an opportunity or someone so sacred to us, so special, leaves us in this physical reality, that person's spirit remains with you forever. It actually becomes part of you. Your spirit expands the moment that person, that soul, leaves this physical realm. That person is your teacher for life. The essence of the person or that loss stays with you for life. And this is not to haunt us or to cause us to grieve until the day we die, but to embody more of that divine love, not because the love was scarce, not because it was a missed opportunity, but because it came here specifically for you to see who you could be, how you could expand more, and what parts of yourself are always going to be with you. So if you're here, let me know who you are and where you're listening in from. When we desire things we can't have, that desire is teaching us how to heal. Again, when we experience loss, when we are on the path of separation, whether that's on purpose or not, God took away. Our soul is choosing to heal, not just something within ourselves, but for collective consciousness, for humanity. And we turn that healing into a soul medicine for other people. Like every tear we've ever had in this human life was for purpose. Those tears sow into something that your soul is going to end up sharing as a prayer for someone else. So if you are desiring something and you can't have it, it's because you are deeply healing. And the healing that you are doing is not just for you. It's for me, it's for all of us. When we desire something we can't have, we're being taught balance. So when we have to make an important shift in our life, the divine is stretching our identities, our skills, how we communicate, how we can feel whole with the people who may or may not be around us. We have to lean into the shadow, lean into our grief, lean into our isolation. Anything that we feel lack, it is our ultimate path. Our greatest fear is the path. I am terrified of public speaking. I've been fighting it for hours. I did not want to turn the live on. It's extremely uncomfortable for me. But I know on the other side of it is healing and balance. I want to be of great, great service to humanity. And this is the path that God has chosen for me, even though I fight it every day. And there's something for you that it's your greatest fear, but it's also going to be your greatest liberation. And that is where your identity needs to be stretched. That is where your soul is going to be expressed more. And you don't want to do it. It's not going to be easy all the time. But like a seed, you're going to have to grow out of the dirt and embrace that sunshine. And as you're listening to these messages, as you're receiving hope and inspiration, motivation from people like me, you're being watered. And it is inevitable that you will lean into your growth. You're going to lean into the fear. It's a very thin line between fear and desire. And ultimately, they will lead to your greatest love, your greatest liberation, your most abundant path. So lastly, when we desire things we can't have, we're being taught gratitude. If we are in the awareness that something is no longer here, it cannot be here. We're forced, with kindness by God, to remember what we have to be grateful for here and now. Because it is in the moment when we let go and surrender and dissolve what we think we need, who we think we have to be, and we let go. And we find wholeness and peace and joy here in this moment with who we are now. That is when we elevate every time. And so it is on purpose that we feel the separation of God here on earth. It is to stretch us. It is to teach us. It is for divine healing of ourselves and all of humanity, because we are not separate. So the poem I shared was called The Gardener from Phoenix Medicines. Yeah. So as you listen to the messages this week, I pray that more clarity comes to you on what your desires are, and that you find courage to source what it is that you desire from the deepest parts of your being, and that you remember that it belongs to you, that it is a vision that will come into fruition if you say yes to it, if you make a commitment every single day moving forward from the moment you're activated and you receive this message truly, and you hold on to it, and you make a commitment walking forward to lean into the discomfort, lean into your fear, because that is the path of liberation. That is what is going to heal you. That is what's going to bring you closer to the love, the money, whatever it is that you need right now to feel fulfilled by the divine, to feel in love with God, with yourself. And so I love talking about desire and passion and helping to reclaim it from a pure sense of being. Not, in that weird way of you have to have totally perfect thoughts and behaviors, but just to tune back in every day, back to the soul, and not become distracted by false illusions, false realities, when God wants the real thing for us. Spirit wants you to have the highest vision possible. That's why you see it. You see it in your dreams. You think about it daily because you're creating it. And it's funny that as we continue to create our highest reality, when it comes closer and closer to being here, we get afraid and we want to run away from it. It is scary to realize that we are creating every moment of our reality. A lot of us don't want to take accountability for it. But if you've been watching so far and you've been a part of this channel, you're ready to take accountability of every thought you've ever had. And you're recognizing that your dreams are not just dreams, they're not just fantasy. That you have a sacred calling. It's calling to you now. And the closer that you believe, the more that you believe in it, and you have faith in it, and you receive divine support, it's going to come closer. And people like me who are speaking to you, saying, I will work with you, I will help you, I will support you. It's because I want to see more people like you. Receive what you deserve. Live the life that you deserve. To live in joy. I need you, whoever is listening, to be successful, as it will raise the consciousness of the planet, that you will help me create the environment, the world that I want this child I'm carrying right now in my body to live in. A higher reality than what I was birthed into. And if you're resonating, that is also likely your same soul call to create something beautiful. And so if we desire beautiful things, they're not meant to punish us. They're meant to guide us. And that is the message. And if you're in the stillness, not knowing what the desires are, that's okay too. Let people like me speak onto you. And when you're ready to activate and embody, that day will come. So if you're listening, I'll take any final questions or thoughts and let this be an opportunity not only for me to see your vision, to help you pray and fight for your vision, but for someone else who's going to hear from you or read your comments. Everything we say is going to be a prayer for someone else. And Nil says, I keep finding public speaking too. It's super uncomfortable. It's so uncomfortable. People make it seem so easy and natural, but it takes a lot of energy to show up like that. And people face a lot of discrimination, violence, and so much more because of the embodiment of truth. Not a lot of people have the courage to speak what they really think. A lot of people don't even know what they even really feel. So it is the orators, it is the public speakers rooted in divine consciousness who help people even realize what they feel. To help them clear the thoughts in the mind. There's a lot of thoughts going on in each and every one of our heads. And so when we hear someone who has a voice of love, we're able to tune into the higher vibration. We're able to tune better into our soul. Soul being the highest energy that we're all rooted in here on earth together. It's a universal language. And so as I show up and you show up, Nils, may we continue to be affirmed in our soul, that the words we speak are healing. And that in the moments when we don't hear from other people about whether our showing up matters, let it matter just to ourselves. Let us continue to speak to our soul. And I promise you, someone's always listening. Someone is always listening to you. Thank you, Stephen, for joining me in this live. And if anyone else is here wants to say hello or share a thought or ask a question, I'll give it another couple seconds. But in the meantime, just a reminder that you can reach out to me anytime by email. I have one-on-one coaching available, but I have some special programs coming up. Before I deliver this baby, I wanted to fit in one more in the only Ascension Seminar. It's a 3-hour online conference. It's only 3 hours. It's going to be August 9th from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. And I can only fit 10 people into the programs. And people come in from around the world and we journey together. We have group discussions, and we're going to journey through specific prompts to help clarify what it is that we are envisioning and to make commitments in community to one another to pursue. Oh, it's your birthday. Okay. Well, if you'd like to spend your birthday with me and other people on the path, please join us. But your birthday is special, so may your day be beautiful wherever it takes you. And August 11th starts the 30-day coaching program. It's called Inviting Your Dreams to Reality. So if you've been considering coaching with me, this is an opportunity to coach with me for 4 weeks. It's a specific portal period that will only open every now and then, and it's not going to happen again until 2026. So it's a 30-day period. I can only take 5 to 10 people. And in that program, you receive 60-minute sessions with me back to back every week for 4 weeks. And I followed up with written spiritual guidance, conscious business advice, affirmations, meditations, journal questions, and self-development worksheets, and so much more. So you can learn more about the programs that are coming up at my website, consciouslifestylecoaching.com. So happy early birthday, Stephen. And just thank you everyone who's listened so far and who will listen later. Sending you peace and love to you on your path. And may your desires of your heart, again, continue to be brought into your life slowly when you need it, as you need it, in divine timing, with peace and ease and joy. I'll see you again soon. Peace and love. Thank you.